Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I just finished watching Scott Derrickson's Black Phone. Now, I'm sorry if you can hear the dogs outside. My window's open because it's kind of getting cold here, so I want all the cold to come into my room because I like it that way. So, as I said, I finished watching Black Phone by Scott Derrickson, starring Ethan Hawke and Eddie from It Chapter 2. You know, that was nice. And I'm going to give my thoughts about this movie, and I'm going to tell you what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and just my overall review. So this movie, the basic plot of this movie is that there's this kid. So this movie takes place in 1978 in Denver. So there's this kid named, what is his name? Finney Shaw, yeah, that's his name. And the back describes him as a shy but clever 13-year-old boy, yeah, who would have thought? And he is pretty much, there in his hometown, there is a stranger, or there is a serial killer that is abducting various kids and killing them. Which is this guy on the cover right here, played amazingly by Ethan Hawke, named The Grabber. That's his name, The Grabber. I have to say, I love this this disguise. I love this mask and all that. And basically, he ends up capturing Finney, and he locks him in a basement, kind of like the first Saw movie. Now, I'm going to bring up Saw a lot in this review, because when watching this movie, I was like, God, this movie reminds me of Saw. And you may be wondering why. I'll tell you. So he gets locked in the basement, and there is a black phone on the wall. Really? Yeah. And the phone is disconnected from the wall, and it doesn't work. He is locked down there with nothing but a mattress and a window. And he tries the phone, but it doesn't work. But then he gets called on that phone, which is disconnected. And it is basically one of the previous victims from the movie, Bruce, which was, I guess, one of his friends that he was competing with in baseball. Yeah. And basically, he tells him that, well, he doesn't really tell him this, but he's been murdered by the Grabber. And pretty much all of the previous victims are going to be calling Finney throughout this movie and giving him tips on how to escape. And that, when I was watching the movie, I was like, I feel like I'm watching a kid's version of Saw. Like, this movie really feels like Saw. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, because I love Saw. I grew up watching Saw. And I thought the premise of two people in a single room trying to escape it with clues and tricks and everything was very interesting. And the first Saw movie, it's no masterpiece, but it was able to do that premise very well. This movie tries to do the same thing, but it feels way more cliche and kind of convenient, you know, just how everything is placed about in that single room, you know. It's like the previous kids, they didn't know that Finney was going to be trapped in that room, so why did they leave all that stuff there? It's for the plot's sake. So he's stuck there, and he gets like a bunch of calls. And one of the main plot points of this movie, and one of the strangest I've ever seen, for some reason, Finney's sister, his little sister, is able to have dreams, and in her words, sometimes the dreams are real. I just have to say, I don't know who the little actress's name is who played his little sister, Finney's little sister, but I have to say she is an amazing actress. That whipping scene, whew, there isn't that many abuse scenes that can make me feel the way that one did. You know, like the Godfather scene where I forgot his name, but the domestic abuse scene from the first Godfather movie. That one, kind of struck a chord in me. This scene in this movie, that's a bit more brutal because, I hate child abuse. I think no kid deserves to be spanked unless they're doing something absolutely terrible, like hardcore drugs or murdering people or like doing it. I don't think you should beat a child for no reason. But I'm not gonna get into my views on disciplinary manners. The dad is kind of abusive in the first part, but then they never do anything with that as the movie goes on. He kind of changes after that one beating scene. He never beats the kids again. He never yells at them again. And he actually starts to treat them a bit better, which I'm thinking, why did they drop that? That could have been a plot point where the dad could have been the secondary villain, where he would try and stop the daughter from, back to what I was talking about. The daughter, I forgot her name, both the actress and in movie, but she basically has dreams, and in her words, sometimes they're real, which means that if she dreams about the grabber taking somebody, she can see it in her dreams. She kind of knows where they went, where the kidnapping happened, and this is what they use in order to lead the police to Finney's location, which, okay, that is very random. I've never seen a movie, I don't think I've seen a movie where the character has dreams that, it's like that. Have you ever seen the show That's So Raven? Where she has flashbacks and she can see into the future and stuff. That's what that reminds me of. So it's kind of strange. It's kind of, it's weird, I don't know why they went with that of all things. There's no explanation. They don't say, oh, well, they do mention that her mother, Finney's mom, who is dead, used to also see things. She used to hear stuff, and she used to be able to have those same dreams, and there were voices that told her to do stuff, and eventually ended up making her commit suicide. And the father basically whips her because she was having dreams about stuff like that, and his fear is that she's going to end up having a dream that, or doing something to herself that ends up making herself kill herself or hurt other people, which is why he was beating her, And so let's talk about Ethan Hawke in this movie. The grabber. He does very well. One thing I love about movie villains like this is that instead of instantly killing the victim and making it easy, it's almost like they want to have a fun little game with them. Kind of like Saw. Instead of just stabbing them and killing them instantly, he wants to have a little fun with it. He wants to play the naughty boy game, as he calls it, which is pretty much the kid tries to escape, they fail, and he puts them back in the basement. And I really like his performance in this movie. He seems kind of merciful at times. I also love the mask, because the mask is not just a permanent smile. It pretty much, he has interchangeable masks that describe the way he's feeling. There's one scene where he asks for Finney's name, and Finney gives him a fake name. And when he steps out of the darkness and into the room that he's in, you can see that his mask is actually frowning. So it gives it, for a character that barely shows their actual face or mouth, that mask is very expressive of how he's feeling at the moment. And I really like that. I really like that. If you're really not gonna show a character's face and you're only gonna have a mask, that you're gonna allow the mask to show the expression for the character. I really also like the setting of the movie. I like all the lighting, all the shots and everything. It feels very so many movies and TV shows try to make themselves be an 80s or 70s or 90s movie where all the characters are in the 90s and stuff. This movie, they did a pretty good job. Sorry, that was a corn chip. This movie actually does a pretty good job of capturing that 70s feel. I mean, they even mention Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was a big deal back then. And, you know, there's like props and sets and all that stuff that make this movie look and feel like it's from the 70s. So I applaud them for trying the best they could to make this movie feel 70s-ish. But, you know, the 70s are over. Nothing can really totally capture the feeling of the 70s or the 80s or the 90s unless you had a time machine and went back and recorded a movie in that time period. But they did a good job. They did a good job. As for the ending of the movie, it was very satisfying to see the grabber get the shit beaten out of him, you know. It's always fun to see the victim rebel against the murderer and murder them, you know, that's pretty cool. And, yeah, the movie, it ended kind of abruptly. It ended kind of, you know, the victim wins and is triumphant and he's a hero. But I mean, you know, what else can they do? I actually thought they were gonna kill off the kid, but obviously this is a Hollywood movie and you can't kill kids in Hollywood movies. The movie was a bit slow at times. It was kind of a bit boring. It was mostly taking place in that room, and you just saw him kind of dawdle around and stuff. There's a lot of dialogue scenes and stuff like that where they're just talking over the phone, and it's just, it could have went a little quicker, but you know, for what it's worth, it's a pretty good movie, you know. Would I see this movie again? I don't know, probably, but you know, maybe next Halloween or something like that. I don't know if I'm gonna watch this movie again for some time. But yeah, overall, this movie, it has its flaws, but it's an enjoyable movie. I think, like, if you're a horror fan, you're probably gonna love this movie, or you're probably gonna at least enjoy it for what it is. So yeah, that is my review of The Black Phone, and my first review on this channel ever. So that's pretty awesome for my first review on this movie to be this movie. What did I say? It's awesome that my first review on the channel was this movie. That's what I meant to say. Anyways, that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.